So we can begin by checking in with the body, noticing what the overall feeling is. And in this meditation, I propose that we're going to do an exploration of the connection of the mind and the body, so that the mind can be aware of how the body is, but also how the body is affects how the mind is. That's our grounding exploration here, this really grounding or arriving in this mind and body connection. So those of you who take yoga through Mind-Body Solutions do this exploration through the practice of yoga, but we can do it in meditation too. So we can begin by noticing the sensation of grounding, what we call grounding, and that's the mind just resting in the body and the feeling of inviting the body to feel supported. So you're bringing the awareness of the mind to rest in the body, and you're allowing the body to feel supported by the chair, by the floor, by the bed, whatever the body is being supported on. So the mind can notice how it feels for the body and to be grounded, to be supported. So you can notice where you feel grounding in the body. Maybe you feel the pressure of the feet on the floor. Maybe the pressure of your legs against the bed or the chair or the couch, whatever you're on. If you have a backrest, maybe you feel your back against the support. We all have different ways of sensing this depending on our bodies, the various bodies that we have. So how do you feel supported? How does the mind feel a body supported? Do we feel pressure of the body against whatever the physical support is? Or maybe you just feel the support of the mind resting in the body, right? This awareness, rather than being caught in the head, like we usually feel the awareness, can we drop the awareness fully down into the body? Just that's an invitation, and how might that feel? So the mind being grounded in the body. Maybe it's grounded in the various sensations coming and going, or maybe it rests in a specific place in the body, maybe the belly or the heart or the breath. Or awareness of the pressure. But the mind is grounded or resting in the body. How do we sense that? And how do we sense the body grounding or resting in the support of the earth, the furniture, the floor? So this feeling of support, we can sense it. Notice what it feels like. But also notice how it feels in the mood of the mind, right? Can the mind rest in this support, or is there like a heaviness that it feels and it feels uncomfortable? Or even the body resting, does that feel heavy? So are we comfortable in that support? So we're noticing two things. We're noticing the physical sensation that we can be aware of, but we're also noticing how it makes us feel in our emotional body. Does it feel pleasant? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel supportive? And don't try to get too technical naming it, but it's just an interesting exercise. But this is the core of our mindfulness. Noticing how it is right now, right here. So this is this body grounded, the mind grounded in the body, and how it feels, how we react or respond to that. And you may notice that the mind's wandered off thinking or something because it's too boring. This is too subtle a sensation. And you can notice that too if the mind is off. Maybe it's grounded in thoughts. And how does that feel? The mind's lost in thought. How does that feel? So we're just being aware. The invitation is to notice a sensation of support, of the body being supported, the mind being supported by the body, and noticing how it feels, how we experience it. So those of you who do yoga, we do the mountain pose where we do this grounding, the gravitas of a mountain, the mass of a mountain, just feeling that solidness of the support and noticing how inviting that feels in the mind and the body. And so you can even envision that if you do a yoga practice. And if not, just rest in the body, being supported. So now we'll shift gears a little bit and invite, from that sense of grounding, so feeling the support, softening and widening the attention to notice spaciousness. So can we notice space, and maybe just inviting the feeling of space, and maybe in doing that, if we invite the intention of space, maybe we feel the body naturally, spine being longer, maybe the chest wants to open just a little bit more. So inviting a sensation of space. Open chest, the spine lifted or elongating. If you really want to invite space, you could widen the arms and open them out to just get that sensation of the whole body expanding. But even if you don't do any physical change in the body, just inviting that perception of spaciousness. So if we invite that image of space, how does that feel in the mind? And does the body change? Does the sensation of the body change by intentionally just inviting a feeling of spaciousness? And maybe you can even visualize space. If you're a visual kind of person, you can imagine the expanse of a big open field, or maybe even the space of, outer space, the vastness of space, and noticing what that invitation in the mind, what that does to the feeling in the mind and the body. And if this all feels too nebulous, right, if it's hard to, like, what am I supposed to do with that? If it feels confusing, or you can't invoke that image, and just go back to grounding and just rest the mind in awareness of the body. But what we're playing with here is different ways of perceiving the mind and the body. So we can invite spaciousness and notice how that feels. If it feels too spacey, if we feel like we're lost in it, then come back to a sense of grounding that maybe feels more secure. So we're just playing with invitations in the mind to explore how the mind and the body feel. So we looked at grounding, we looked at space. Next, let's explore rhythm. So rhythm, what would rhythm feel like in the body? Where do you notice just a continual changing pattern? And the place we usually feel it most in the body is just the rhythm of the breath, the in-breath, the out-breath. Breathing in, breathing out. So we can rest the awareness there, just feeling the sensation of the body, breathing in, breathing out, a rhythmic pattern. And maybe you feel the whole body breathing, maybe that's how you sense it, or maybe you feel the breath, the rhythm of the breath in a specific location, like the belly or the chest, or the feeling in and out of the nostrils. How does the mind experience the body, the rhythm of the body breathing? And maybe you can notice if it really is rhythmic or if there's a constriction somewhere, right? We can notice that too. And if it doesn't feel like an even rhythm, if it's irregular, we can just notice that and not get disturbed by it. We can just notice, oh, maybe the in is shorter than the out, or vice versa. Or there's a little bit of a resistance somewhere in the breath. So we just notice this, the rhythm of the breath. Breathing in, breathing out. And when we're aware of that, how does that feel in the mind and the body? Is that rhythm comforting? Does it feel agitating? Sometimes that movement can feel agitating to the mind. Does it lull us to sleep? So what's the experience? The rhythm of the body breathing is like this in the mind and the body. Does it feel good? Not so good? Just noticing. And then we can let that go and just rest the awareness in the overall sense of the body again. And the perception I'll invite now is that of balance. So balance is just the body at rest. So it may feel similar to grounding, right? But we can just notice that the body not trying to do anything, the mind not trying to do anything. There's just an ease of restfulness. So inviting a perception of balance in the mind and the body. Can we perceive that? Can we notice that? Or maybe what we notice is a lack of balance. Maybe the body feels unsteady. Maybe the mind feels agitated or the body feels agitated. We can notice, oh, there is no balance. It's restless, it's agitated, it's not at rest. We can just notice that too. But noticing if there's any place where the body feels at rest or in balance. Maybe just the hands at rest in the lap. So noticing anywhere where there's balance in the body, and if the mind can rest there. So these explorations, there's grounding, we can notice grounding, can notice or invite space, can notice rhythm in the body. You can notice balance and notice how that feels in the body and the mind. So this is incorporating, like yoga, yoking, bringing together the mind and the body and the breath. They're not separate. This is all part of our experience. And we just keep noticing how it is right now, right here. This mind, this body, this breath, in each moment. Noticing what brings ease, what doesn't bring ease, to get to know ourselves. This is our practice. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface again. And just maybe notice what you might have noticed during that meditation. There's different invitations. Maybe some the mind and the body were more happy with than others. Some were confusing. maybe zoned out through the whole thing, and you can notice that too. um, so just being aware of how that was, what you might have noticed, and then letting it go and going back to being aware of being here together. So again, that exploration is something, so a lot of times in meditation, we're just, inviting a sense of calm to get the mind to calm down. But this kind of using perception of the mind in the body, really embodied awareness. I don't know what your experience was, but a lot of time by really inviting the mind to be interested in the body, and especially inviting these different types of experiencing and seeing how the mind and the body relate to it, sometimes that can get us out of our perpetually thinking mind, right? So we're using the thinking mind to set specific perceptions or intentions. So we're using the thinking mind to invite something there. So there's sort of a processing going on there, but it's not the usual thinking about the past or the future, right? It's the process of using thinking to be fully present in this mind and body and noticing what feels helpful, right? That's really what we want to know is, what feels helpful. And so which of these perceptions felt helpful in this moment, and even though maybe inviting spaciousness felt really good, wow, it just really can let the heaviness of the world go. But after a while, it might start to feel really agitating, like, no, I need to get regrounded. This is too spacey. I need to, feel something more solid or resting in the rhythm or whatever. So by knowing, inviting these different perceptions, and again, we do this in the Mind Body Solutions yoga classes as well. These are the core perceptions that we invite in our yoga poses here too. And even if you don't do yoga, we can invite it just by the mind inviting an idea into the body and noticing what happens, right? Even if we don't physically do anything. So no matter what our ability is, or where we are, maybe we're sitting on a plane, we can't move around, but we can invite these different perceptions and create whole different ways of being, ways of experiencing, just through doing these invitations in the mind. So it's a way of using a thinking process to do an exploration. And again, the ultimate goal is to notice what feels helpful and what doesn't. But so these are just explorations we can do. So there's a couple of benefits to doing these kind of practices. One of my teachers calls these 4 perceptions 4 refuges that we can take in the body. So these are explorations that we can find a place of safety. We can explore which one of these makes us feel safe or secure or okay in each moment. So we can, by coming into the body, even if the mind is going crazy, we can invite these to allow a sensation or a perception that allows us to get out of the craziness of the thinking mind of the past or the future, or worry about the present or whatever, and coming into the body. So it can be a refuge. And it's also a refuge just from overall stressfulness, that by understanding this better, we can, if we feel stress in the body, maybe we have a pain or, just an uncomfortable sensation, or we're feeling like it's all out of control. We can invite a different perception from that stressful experience. We can say, what might be the opposite of that? So if the body feels in a lot of pain and feels heavy because of that, or maybe we feel depressed and it feels heavy, then saying, oh, what would happen if I just invited the idea of spaciousness? Like, what might that feel like? Like inviting a different perception than that heaviness. So inviting space, or maybe, maybe just a rocking rhythm might feel good now, or just a perception of rhythm, like waves crashing on an ocean, as a perception of something different than the heaviness of whatever it is feels heavy to this mind and this body. So we can both notice what we're perceiving in the body, but also if it's uncomfortable, we're not trying to dissociate it, but we're trying to notice what else is present. Like if it feels heavy, we can invite, well, is there space anywhere in this mind, in this body, right? So rather than getting lost in the sensation of heaviness or maybe too much grounding, right? Too grounded feels too heavy, inviting space or rhythm. Or if things feel really out of balance, like too much spaciousness, can I just rest in balance or rest in a sense of groundedness to counteract whatever this sensation in the mind and body that feels uncomfortable? Because in any moment, all of these perceptions are present, but what are we paying attention to, right? So if one of them is dominating, we can invite another one to see what the effect is. And if it makes it worse, then let it go, and try something else. But this exploration gets us out of being caught in any one of these that feels really uncomfortable too. So it's just inviting curiosity, which you hear me say all the time, inviting curiosity and exploration as a way of a different way of experiencing whatever it is that we have in front of us, whether it's a heavy thought or a heavy physical sensation, or a feeling of out of control in the mind or out of control in the body. What might be something that might help to balance that out, to bring the mind and the body back into a sense of balance, or just okayness? What might be okay? So that's the talking part of it. The grounding meditation we did was longer than usual, but I wanted to invite that exploration. So in the next meditation, let's keep exploring that. So I'm going to invite the same thing, but maybe with a little less talking, and just let you, I'm going to invite each one of those sensations. But if at any time what I'm inviting doesn't feel right, if it feels out of balance, you've got these other perceptions that you can invite yourself, right? This is what you learn to do yourself. What works for me right now, right? That's the question you want to ask yourself. What can I invite that might work for me? So in remembering grounding, space, rhythm, balance. And you don't have to remember them. I'll keep reminding you of them through the meditation. But this is our exploration, just to see how you might be able to incorporate it in your meditation. But also we can take this into our everyday life too. So regrounding in our posture. So feeling the support of the bed, the chair, the couch, whatever, the floor. Grounding, a sense of space or alertness of the spine. A sense of relaxation or just balance. And we'll let the bell transition us. So letting go of all that talking, conceptualizing, coming back into being aware of the mind, embodied, resting in this body. And noticing how it is right now. What's the mood of the mind, the energy. And again, not judging it, just noticing how it is. And then bring the awareness to the body itself. You bring the mind resting in the body to notice how the body is overall. General mood of the body, the energy of the body. Relaxed, agitated, collapsing, exhausted, whatever it is, just noticing. So bring the awareness right here, right now. And then setting the intention during this meditation to invite these different 4 refuges, mind-body sensations, to notice the effect. And can we just be with whatever that effect is? Or maybe if we need to, we can invite another more helpful sensation, perception. So this is our exploration. So the invitation is to explore these 4 tools, these 4 sensations: grounding, space, rhythm, balance. You can take them one at a time, or if you need to on your own, explore whatever needs to be explored for you. So first we can invite grounding. That's always a good place to start, just testing what is it to rest, the awareness in the body, resting the body on whatever the support is. Just really feeling resting in this support. Grounded, supported, stability, whatever word works for you to invite this sensation of grounding, and notice what it feels like in the mind and the body. The body's resting on its support. Can it relax into that? And can the mind rest or ground in the body? So just inviting that perception, however you experience it in your mind, your body. And noticing you're still resting in this sense of groundedness, or if the mind has wandered off or gone to sleep. Maybe if you aren't feeling like you're really connected to the body, you can just notice changing sensation, or maybe grounding in the sense of body breathing. If you need something specific, invite that. Otherwise, just resting in this sensation of the body at rest, being supported, and the mind resting and just being aware that we're in this embodied experience of awareness. Resting, supported. Sensation of pressure against whatever's supporting you, the hands resting in the lap. How does that feel in the mind and the body? So noticing if the mind's still experiencing a sense of groundedness in the body, or if something else is going on, just noticing how that feels, whatever's going on. It's like this. We experience it like this. And then the next invitation is to invite a sense of space. So softening, widening the attention, maybe inviting a perception or noticing of any spaciousness in the body, maybe the expansion of the body on the inhalation, feeling the spaciousness of an open chest or of a spine that's invited to be longer, or just the spaciousness of inviting the mind to visualize space. So what works for you to invite space? Just a softening or a widening of our attention, or inviting an image of space, or a physical sensation of spaciousness? What works for you to invite space in the mind and the body? And can the mind rest in this sense of space? Does it feel comfortable? Or does the spaciousness feel actually too loose, not enough support for the mind? And if it feels just inviting the sensation of space in the mind, feels not grounded enough, not enough support, then come back to just a physical sensation of the space of the chest open. Or if it feels way too spacey, go back to feeling groundedness. So just noticing how this invitation of a sensation of space works in the mind and the body right now for you. Inviting space in the mind, the body, and noticing the effect. Does space make the mind feel light and happy, or does it make it feel confused and unstable? How is it right now? And does space in the body feel opening, expansive, or does it feel disorienting? Just noticing. And then letting that perception go and inviting a sense of, or noticing a sense of rhythm in the mind and the body. And again, the breath is commonly where we feel the rhythm, pulsing, constantly changing. Maybe the rhythm of the heartbeat works for you. But just the rhythm of changing sensation in a regular pattern. Rhythm, the body breathing in, receiving, breathing out, letting go. And the mind being aware of this rhythm, this changing sensation. Is it a regular or is it irregular rhythm? You can notice that. Is the mind content with this rhythm, watching the rhythm? Sometimes that's more interesting than just like spaciousness was. You can notice that. Or maybe the rhythm makes you sleepy. So just notice what's happening. Inviting the perception of rhythm and noticing what happens in the mind and the body. And if this doesn't work, invite something else. Spaciousness or groundedness. What allows the mind and body to feel at ease. Rhythm. How is it? And the last perception we're going to invite is just a sense of balance. So the body and the mind at rest. So can we notice where in the body we can rest the mind to allow the mind and the body to feel at rest? Is it the feet on the floor? The body just balanced on the chair or the support? Or maybe there's a sense of balance in the mind. Not pushing or pulling, just presence. Can we notice that too, any amount? Just this awareness in balance with this body. Or we can notice if there isn't balance, if there feels like things are still agitated or moving. We can notice that too. But is there any place where it feels like we're at rest? And noticing how that feels in the mind and the body. How is it in the mood and the mind and the body, the energy? Balance is like this, or lack of balance is like this. And there's still rhythm in the body. There's still space in the body and the mind. And ultimately, we're still grounded in this experience, this mind, this body right here, right now. We're right here, right now. All of these are always present. And what's helpful to pay attention to in this moment? What feels beneficial? What doesn't feel beneficial? This is our practice, to notice. So the bell invites us to bring the awareness back to the surface from this exploration. Notice whatever we might have noticed. And when you're ready, just coming back to being aware of being here together. So again, this is something else to put in your toolkit, both for your meditation practice, this exploration, but also in your daily life. You know, if you're standing in the grocery line and you're feeling really frustrated, like you need to move, you know, like it's feeling the immobility of the line not moving, can you just invite a sense of spaciousness? Like, can I be open to this, you know? Or if the world you're watching the news and it all feels really heavy, you know, can we relax in the rhythm, like comforting rhythm, like a rocking chair or a sense of the ocean, you know, can we let that rhythm lull some of the anxiety from the worldly experience, you know? So just playing with these different concepts, both in our daily life and in meditation, just invite you to explore it. And hopefully one of these, or maybe all of them, are helpful to invite. And if not, if nothing else, maybe it was just interesting to just explore, and you can just have these in the back of your mind for future reference. So just grateful to be able to do this together every week, and hopefully there was something helpful. Thanks for joining in, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.